hey Dave, I'm seriously thinking of coming over to make a career in Japan and live there. I'm just a little worried about coming over and making friends and fitting in. I've always felt that I'm quite different from other people. And I know Japanese culture places a lot of emphasis on fitting in and reading the room. I'm a vegetarian and teetotal. I do not drink. I'm also somewhat feminine by nature and gay. All of these things lead me to be quite shy, generally nervous and socially awkward, as I quite often feel like I do not fit in with others sometimes. I feel sometimes like people may think that I choose to be different. If I tell them about these things, I worry people believe I want to be seen as unique or special. However, I just am this way because it is who I am. I'm a vegetarian and teetotal because it feels like the right way of life for me. I just wanted to know if you think it is worth it to come over from your own experience being a foreigner and getting to know people, or if I may find it too hard and too difficult to fit in or make friends or be involved with the local community. So do I think, will you fit in? No, I don't think that you will fit in. And I think that the harder that you try to fit in, the more difficult and more resistance that you would find. The good news is, I don't think you should ever want to. So think about it like this. If Robin Williams thought that his frenetic energy was too much and he had to tone that down a bunch of notches, otherwise he might risk alienating everyone because he wanted to fit in, then we would have lost one of the great comic geniuses of our time. Same with Jim Carrey. If you think about Tom York from Radiohead, if he was like, I'm way too much of a downer, no more of this kind of music, no Radiohead. If Elton John thought that he was a little too ostentatious and this was one too many rhinestones, no Rocket Man. And if Freddie Mercury didn't Freddie Mercury, well then no Queen, and I don't want to live in a world without any Queen. So if you really think about it, who are we often most struck by? Who leaves a resounding mark in history? It's people who aren't afraid to not fit in, that they'll take their weirdness and that they run with it. And I think if you look more closely at the social environments that we occupy, you'll find something interesting, and that's that there's usually two types of things happening. One case is that you have people fitting in, or there is a perceived fitting in, which is really just confident people who are happy with who they are, and then they become leaders and people align themselves around them, and that is what becomes normalized. That is what becomes fitting in and normal. And it's not that there was ever a successful consensus on what it was to fit in. It's that this person just happened to be happy enough with who they were as an individual that it then dominates the rest of the group. That's why you get leaders and followers in that case, and it's not so bad. But then the most insidious is when you don't even have strong personalities in the workplace, and this happens just as much as when you have strong ones. And it's that what everyone is doing is walking around with a mask on, literally living out personas, where everyone is behaving in a way in which they think is normal, and it's all this insecurity bumping up against each other. And what's ironic about this is that the more that people attempt to be normal, the more abnormal it becomes, because the more and more you're giving up that part of yourself which is genuine to conform with the weirdness. Now, lastly, what would I say about my experience like down in the trenches, actually hanging out with people internationally? People have liked me for the way in which my experiences vary and contrast with their own. It's cool when you can connect with someone sometimes over a common interest. You like chess, I like chess, whatever. But usually the more interesting interactions with people are those where you have done something totally different than I have, and that insight that it offers you grants me new insight, and then we can share that experience because of our polar opposite experiences that we've had as individuals. There's no Japanese person that I've met that is like, oh, thank God, you came over and you're banal and you are innocuous and you are mild-mannered, so we can get along so well. No, it's like you're weird mountain man from another country, and that's so interesting because you've done stuff that I would never dream. and you should embrace that. Another way you put it, what makes you weird is what makes you awesome. There's a line, of course. If what makes you weird is jerking off in the subway, that is not what makes you awesome. Don't do that. You shouldn't do that. There's a line. Let's be sensible. But generally speaking, what's weird is what makes you awesome, and that will forever be true. So forget it. Check that desire at the door. Come over. Be feminine. Be super gay. Be you. Be you. That's the important thing here. And unburden yourself this bizarre responsibility that you feel to fit in with people. It doesn't make them like you anymore. It doesn't make it any easier. And 90% of the time, it's disingenuous. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for dropping by. Big shout out to my patrons. I really, really appreciate you guys. You're amazing. Please do, if you're not already there, consider supporting me on Patreon because it means the world to me. Really appreciate it. More content to come. If you like the video, please do drop a like, subscribe, hit that bell notification if you want to be let know as soon as another video goes live on the channel. But for now, the clock has run out. Catch you in the next one.